Hello YouTube and welcome back. It's me, Fruit Guru. I hope you're all keeping well. And, bit of a lull in content between now and Wednesday's anniversary. So I thought, what better time than to finally get around to making the Husbando tier list. Very, very important. We did do a while back a waifu tier list, which probably needs a bit of an update. But, feck that for now. We're going to focus on the men. And, I'm not an expert in this, unfortunately, but I think I can gauge pretty well what's good husbando and what's bad husbando, So we're going to give it a go anyway. I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with a lot of my choices. This is kind of a jokey thing, so don't take it too seriously, but by all means, if you feel like I've treated someone unfairly, or if you think I've kind of made someone better out than they really are, tell me, and we can look at this, because we don't want to mislead people into picking the wrong husbando. So I've kind of just imported all these at random, and I guess we'll start with Sid. So here's the thing, right? Sid's a good guy, okay? He's one of the goodies, he's real buff and strong, but he's kind of old, so I think for a lot of us, he's going to be a little bit too elderly. So I don't really want to put him into the Hubba Hubba S tier rank. But I think I'm actually going to put him in the decent, right? Because he's got good morals, he's pretty decent. So we'll put him in there to start with. Looks aren't everything. He might be a little bit past it, but I think it's safe to put him there, especially for our older husbando seekers. I think he's a pretty good choice there, we don't want to be too ageist either. So moving up, we have regular Stern. Now, Stern, you look at him, he's a bit of a pretty boy, he is, but he's also moody, he's impulsive, and I don't think that would qualify as a good husbando. I mean, if this was a waifu, there'd be red flags going off for me. So, looks are important. Okay, let's be honest. They are kind of important. So I think we're going to put him into big mistake. Maybe settle turn. No, we're going to put him into big mistake because he's not like what is wrong with you tier, but he's too moody. I don't like that. Now Tancred. Okay. Tancred, pretty quiet for a guy. Don't actually know too much about him because I kind of skipped that bit in Final Fantasy XIV. So, based on looks alone, and that he's pretty cool, I think we'll put him into decent territory. He's a goodie, right? He's a good guy, he's got good morals. I don't think he's got a dicky around. So, yeah, we'll put him there for now. Now, this one, oh Jesus, I always forget his name. So this is the only unit to be featured on both the waifu and the husbando tier list, because quite frankly, I'm not really convinced that this is either. I was told last time that this is actually a guy. I'm gonna put him into the big mistake tier because he looks like he's, like got that Robin Hood kind of haircut from back in the early 90s, Robin Hood adaptations, maybe 80s or something. Don't really get a lot of good vibes from him from the story. We know he's a goodie, right? I think he's a goodie, but I think this would be a big mistake. I think he can do a lot better. Now, Sorghul, I can never remember this guy. This guy is so unremarkable, right? Look at that frown on the face. Frowny as fuck. I don't like this. The long hair is kind of cool. He's magic-y. But I don't think that this is going to be a good. I think this is the perfect settle territory, right? He's decent, but I can't see him being someone that you'd be super excited to go out with, And you need a good rapport. Like, I don't want to be sitting across from my fictional husbando, having a nice dinner, and I feel like this is the type of guy who's going to moan about the food, he's going to moan about the wine, and quite frankly, the food and the wine is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but you're just looking for something to moan with, so, that's why I'm saying settle territory, He's got some good, got some bad. Now, Sizzult. I'm going to be terrible on pronouncing names, by the way. I'm going to forget a few as well. This guy, what I know from the story, I mean, he was at least engaged, possibly married. He is on the Vow of Love card, so I think, this guy is a little bit round-faced. Okay, well, not the end of the world. I'm not saying that round-faced is bad, but he looks a little bit funny. But I actually think he is deserving of the decent tier. He's an alright all-round guy. And he's got his good principles, he's got good morals, it looks like, so I think he could do kind of, you could do a lot worse than this, you know, so I'm going to put him there. Now, I know Titus isn't in the game yet, but since he's coming out on Wednesday, I thought I'd include him anyway. And, I mean, really, we kind of have to put him into Hubba Hubba S tier. I mean, we know that this guy will go to the ends of the earth for you, right? Like, he'll literally give his life for you. He's got some nice hair. I mean, it's not to my personal style, but he obviously looks after himself. He's pretty ripped. So, I think Hubba Hubba, here we come. I think he's going to be the first entry into it. I mean, the only thing is, right, here's the thing with Titus, he's very high energy, right? Like, you know, he's always like, "Whoa." I just remember him being high energy, which I think would be a bit annoying, but, you know, nobody's perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. So that aside, I think we're going to put him into S tier. Now, Seymour. I think this guy's a badass, right? Everything about him is badass. He does have a frown, okay? He does have a frown, which I'm actually seeing quite a few people look like they kind of are a bit frowny. But I don't think that's enough to mark him down. I think this guy is... Here's the thing. I want to put him into S tier, right? Because he's pretty badass based on that alone. However, here's the thing. He has a drinking problem. And, you know, we all make light of it in the game, you know, it's cool, whatever. But really, do you want to live with that? I mean, we know Seymour from, you know, his escapades and the story and stuff. We don't know what Seymour's like behind closed doors, and I'm not making any accusations here. I'm not doing that. However, I would be worried, okay? So I think I'm going to put him into decent. If anybody out there thinks that this guy should be demoted, let me know, because I could be wrong. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, okay? I think he's cool, but I'm not 100% convinced. Zombie Ryu. Now, I think this is going to be our first contender for the What's Wrong With You category, because frankly, this guy is a zombie, okay? I can't think of any circumstance where you're going to want to marry a zombie husbando. I just think it's a recipe for disaster. I think it's foolish. I mean, he's got some cool hair, but really, I think you're going into D. I'm sorry, zombie Ryu. But that's where you're going to live. Now, this guy, Bailu, I think. This guy, look at him, right? Look at that smug smile. This guy does not take care of himself, okay? I can say that because I don't take care of myself either. But this guy certainly does not take care of himself. And look how smug he is. And this guy's a clown, okay? This guy's a walking circus. I hate everything about him. I'm actually going to put him in the same league as Zombie Ryu. What is wrong with you if you go with this guy? What is wrong with you? Because quite frankly, like everything about this guy. He's stupid. He's useless. There's no reason. Like, I mean, this isn't even sedentary or big mistake. This if you go for this, you have a problem, okay? You have a problem. Now, I know some people actually might genuinely like him, and that's your prerogative. I completely get that. But, no, not for me. Not for me. Now, I think Vadim or something here. Okay, so he's okay. Like, he's got a nice smile. Kind of useless in a lot of situations. I mean, a lot better alternatives to him, but we're not judging these based on their skill with the sword or the mace or whatever. So I think he's good settled territory. I don't think he's particularly great. Maybe decent. But you know, I think he's a pretty smile. He's a pretty smile, but that's about as far as it goes. Yeah, I'm unsure. This guy, what's his name? Oh god, I can't remember. Viceral. Okay, this guy's a snake in the grass. Okay, this guy would cheat on you if he had the time, but he's up to much more sinister stuff, right? You got to avoid this guy like the plague. He's dangerous. I mean, I could see, you know, he's got the wavy hair, you know, he's got nice bone features, bone structure in his face. I'm going to say big mistake, but I honestly think maybe closer to what is wrong with you status, okay? Because, quite frankly, this guy's got to stab you in the back. He's going to break your heart, 100%. I guarantee it. Now, Oron. This guy, do you know what? He's a little bit older, kind of like Sid. But he's a badass, right? He is cool. I think he would make a pretty good husbando. And I'm actually going to put him into S tier Hubba Hubba. I might be wrong. Maybe decent would be fair. But I think for now, I'm going to put him there. Look at that wavy grey through the hair. I think he looks good. He's got the shades. He's got good dress sense. You know, he's pretty buff. I think he could do a lot worse. I think like maybe Titus for the younger Husbando seeker, and Oren for the kind of more mature, you know, less high energy. I think is a good safe bet. So regular Ryu. I think big mistake again. Same reasons as Vicereal, so I won't go too over. I think he's a snake in the grass. I don't trust him. All I have to say about this. This guy is so unremarkable that I can't even remember his name. I mean, he's a little bit frowny looking. I think his collar on his coat or robe, I think it's a little bit over the top. We'll put him into settled territory just because I'm unsure. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, okay? So I'm going to put him there. Mustadio. Settled territory. Not much to say. I mean, not too gone on the ponytail, not too gone on the bone structure. All around, yeah, I think we could do a lot better. Vladim. Okay, so this guy looks kind of like, you know, the solidy snake type to me, which is pretty cool. We do know from the story that, like, you know, he stands up for what he believes in. He's pretty tough, and I think for that reason, I mean, he's a little bit worn down, but I think for that reason we're going to put him into decent. I think he deserves that. I think he's earned that right. Okay. Yeah. Garble. Okay, Garble. So this guy, he's beautiful. He's beautiful. I mean, what can I say? He's pretty beautiful. But we also know that he's kind of sneaky as well. I mean, I kind of skipped through a lot of the story recently. But we do know that he was selling those guns to both sides. I'm going to presume this was so they kill each other and he'd just profit. And I don't like that. So, I mean, I think we do know he had a rough childhood growing up. And I think because of that, you know, he might be redeemable. So I'm going to put him into settled territory. But I'm putting him there with the little denotion that he might be moved down. We're going to see how he goes. So we'll come back to this. He's in there for now. I think that's fair. Gafgarian. Dickhead. Right? Dickhead. We'll probably fuck you over. He has some cool quotes, but, you know, that's not going to make a marriage last. So as far as husbandos go, I mean, he's very, very old as well. I think we're going to go big mistake. I mean, he's obviously got a bit of power, you know, he kind of knows what he's doing, but I don't think he's going to be looking after you. I don't think so. So, Roon Stern. This guy has just made so many mistakes. He's a walking disaster. Yeah, he's strong, he's buff, but I mean, he is wearing a suit that's going to turn him into a big monster eventually, like Moraga. And quite frankly, I think this guy makes bad decisions, much like his other version. I think this is actually going into what's wrong with you, because this guy would slay you in a second. I mean, you're going to disagree over where you go for dinner, you know, you're going to say, oh, I'd love to try that new plate, and he's going to go, no, I want this, I want that, and he's going to stab you, and it's going to be a disaster. So, yeah. What's wrong with you? This is basically you're asking for suicide. Very different than our previous Balo, very different than the zombie Ryu, but all three of these so far are walking disasters. Now, Howlet. So we know Howlet's a pretty boy. Okay. Very well groomed. I am a little bit worried that he is going to care more about himself than his partner in the relationship. Okay, now I can't base this off much other than what I've seen of him in the story, but I think he could be a little bit self-centered. I think, you know, say I was making a big effort to go out, and I get my hair done, and I wear a nice suit. I think I'd walk into the room to meet Howlet, and Howlet's going to be looking at himself in the mirror. So I'm going to put decent, because I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt again. I'm being very generous here, actually, I might add. But ultimately, I think he's going to have a lot of problems. I think you're going to have to kind of try and change him a bit. You're going to have to bring him down to earth a little bit, but I'll put him there for now. I'm still not 100% sure. Now, Delita. Big mistake. Big mistake. You know, he has some cool quotes. He comes out with some profound stuff, but I think he's a bit of a knob, to be honest with you. and I think you're going to have a lot of arguments with him. I think he's going to kind of always want everything to go his way, and yeah, quite frankly, I think that's pretty dangerous. So yeah, I'm not gonna rate him too highly. Now, Sergej's, I think this guy, I don't understand this guy, right? So if you keep in touch with the story, I mean, this guy works for a guy he hates. He's kind of depressed, I think, a little bit. And I just, yeah, I don't know. This is the classic, if you can't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. And because of that, I think he's a big mistake. I think he needs to kind of realise, now I could be wrong, I could be completely wrong here, you know, I'm just speculating, but I don't think very good. Now, Rob Horn. Okay. The beard is very long. The hair is a little bit unkept, but he's a king, okay? So he's going to look after you. You know, you're going to be pretty safe with this guy, I think. And, I mean, I think he's a decent pick. I think he's going to look after you. I don't think he's good looking enough to get, like, straight into hubba territory. Not that we're just basing this on looks again, but, I think, I mean, he's got a lot of responsibility. You got to remember that, right? So there's going to be times where you don't want to go for a picnic, but he's going to have to go to some kind of meeting, and I think that's going to be a bit of a problem. He's very good as a leader. He seems very fair, but I think we're going to have problems here. So we'll put him in decent, you know. Warrior of Light. Okay, so this isn't even a real person, okay? This is just like the kind of amalgamation of all the legends and stories that we know. So he's not even a real person. Doesn't really speak as far as I know, and I think like he's basically like goodness and purity personified, right? I think settled territory, because I think he's going to be a pain in the ass. I don't think he's going to be exciting. I don't think he's going to bring much to the table in terms of discussion. I mean, sure, he looks nice and he's got a nice hat, but I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's decent or S tier. I think he's going to be right down in the middle. You're going to have some good days, bad days. I think you're going to have to put a lot of work into this relationship to make it work. This guy, what's his name? Misha or something? I'm not really sure. Stupid hoodie. This is a boy, not a man. Big mistake. Yeah, he needs to grow up. Which leads us into, oh god, this nappy word. Yeah, okay. So, no, not Laswell, Jesus Christ, what is he called? I can't remember his name offhand. I actually have this guy built, but it doesn't matter, because he's not going to be ranked high anyway. I mean, this guy literally wears a nappy, for Christ's sake, okay? If you're wearing a nappy, I get that you're going to hit a certain age, right, where the meat stuff starts working. This is young. This guy's not wearing a nappy for his incontinence. He's wearing it because he actually thinks it looks good, and that's very questionable. So I'm actually going to put him straight into what is wrong with you tier. Okay? I think that's where he belongs. Engelbert. Okay. So, at face value, right, Engelbert looks tough, rugged, you know, he knows what he's doing, he's a good soldier. I've seen the way he treats Frederica. You know, Frederica is a very decent level waifu, as we discovered. And, okay, maybe she's not for him, but I just think he's a bit of a knob. I don't like how he treated her, and I don't think there's any time in his life for romance. I think he's going to be very cold. I think the job's always going to come first. I think you're going to cook him a nice dinner one day, and he's going to come home really late, and he's not even going to apologise. You know, the dinner's going to be cold. So because of that, I think big mistake. I think he's going to have his good qualities, you know, but I think all in all, not the best way to go. Dario. Well, he's dead. Apparently super overpowered, has God knows how many, like, magic foresight, all this jazz, but he died. And he died while he left Venera with child, and I don't think that's very good husbando quality. So given that, I mean, maybe I put him into decent if he wasn't dead, but I think we're going to have to put him into big mistake. No, I won't put him into what's wrong with you, because, I mean, look, he's got nice hair, he looks nice, but I think that's about it. Laswell. I know nothing about this guy because I didn't play Brave Exvius very much past my initial roles, and I didn't get what I wanted, so I didn't stick with it. And, I mean, this guy looks nice. I think he... I think we're going to put him into settled territory. I don't know enough about his story, so if you think... Give me a reason to move this guy up or down, basically, right? Because I can't decide. Cecil. Now... I think that Cecil's Hubba Hubba. We know that he's able to question his beliefs and he's able to change his behaviour. He stands up for what's right. He has those absolutely lovely, luscious locks. I think S tier, you know. He's a little bit frowny here, but it's more of a sad kind of, you know. I think when he finds happiness, you'll find happiness. I think, you know, a bit of work together. I think he's got the potential. Rain. Okay. Okay. So Rain, I'm also going to have to put in S tier Hubba Hubba because he looks really nice. Again, he suffers from the same problem as Titus, where he's that high energy, shout a lot. I mean, if you listen to this guy in battle, he's a little bit annoying, to be honest. But I don't think that's enough to move him down. Possibly the decent, I'm not sure, but I think for now we're gonna keep this here. Ramza. Okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. All these kind of main protagonists are very high up, obviously, because they're made to be that way. Ramza. I'm going to put you in Hubba Hubba. I'm going to have to. Nice ponytail. Fringe could do with a bit of a trim, but obviously he's been through a lot. Obviously fights for what he believes in. I think he's a good choice. I don't think he can go much wrong. Adelard. Okay. I think Adelard's decent. He's not quite, what's the word I'm looking for? He's not quite big enough, like his personality, you know, he's got some cool quips and stuff. I think he's decent. I think he'd be a decent choice. I don't think he's right up there at the top. He's not like top tier protagonist Husbando level, but he's pretty up there. Okay, now, this is going to be a controversial one, okay? Because I know that so many people love Susanna. I mean, he's the popularity poll winner. But do you think he'd treat you well? Or do you think he'd be selfish? I think that no matter how much you love this unit, you know that this guy's going to dick you over somewhere down the line. I'm not going to put what's wrong with you, because obviously he's rugged. I'm a little bit apprehensive to put him into settled territory, so I'm going to say big mistake. And don't get me wrong, I love this guy. I do as a unit. I think he's really badass. But do I think he's going to make a good Husbando? I don't think so. King Curie. Straight into trash tier. What is wrong with you? This guy is old, this guy is ugly, this guy's an absolute knob. Yeah, not a chance. Not a chance. That's all I have to say on that. And Gilgamesh as well. I'm going to put him to what's wrong with you. I mean, he's not even technically human. Okay, so that's weird from the get-go. Okay. He's basically some sort of god. He's going to see you. Honestly, you may love this guy, but he's going to see you as an ant beneath his feet. You know, that's how insignificant you are. Okay, and I'm sorry if the truth hurts, but that's how he is. Okay, so bad decision to go with that. Mont. Okay. Settled territory. Okay, maybe King Mont is going to be a little bit higher up. I mean, Mont looks good. You know, he's alright, but I think he lacks a bit of a backbone a lot of the time, and maybe that's not fair because he does go out of his way to do a lot. I'll put him in decent. Okay, I'm going to put him in decent. That's the best I can do. This guy, I can never remember his name. He's basically settled territory, though. I think I'm going to put him there. Again, if you have any agreements or disagreements, let me know, and we'll move him. Now, Sorghul. Now, I know I very much doubt Dr. Diggs is ever going to watch this, but if he did, he'd probably want me to put Sorghul into the S tier. I'll tell you what. I mean, I can see why. I'm gonna go decent. I'm sorry, dudes. I'm gonna go decent. I don't think he's charismatic enough. Well, maybe. If you want to prove me wrong, if you want to tell me why he should be S tier, by all means do it. I won't have a problem with that. But I think for now, I'm going to put him in there. And that's mostly for you, okay, buddy? That's mostly for you. Kane. I think big mistake. I'm sorry, but I just get the feeling that he's not going to be particularly good as Husbando material. Very cold, I think, and yeah. Wouldn't trust him. Duranda. Okay, so this guy's obviously sketchy, right? He just wears a mask all the time. You have no idea what's going on. Now, this guy could be potentially very rugged and cool. I don't think so. I think this is dangerous. He looks kind of scary. I don't want to wake up in the morning beside that. So I think I'm going to have to put him in What's Wrong With You. And that's where you're going to live and die. And finally, Alder. I mean, this guy doesn't really give it. This guy cares about the bloodline, but does he really care about you as a person? Does he? Does he really? I don't think so. So because of that, I'm going to say big mistake. And I think that's a very fair decision. So yeah, I think that's what our Husbando tier list is looking like. As always, if you disagree or agree, please let me know, give me reasons. I am very open to changing some of this, especially on some of the units that I'm not so familiar with. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any problems with how this is done. Let me know if you particularly agree with anything. And yeah, I mean, I think next we'll go back to the waifu tier list and have a look at that again. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I know this has been very important. And no, in all seriousness, I hope this gives a bit of a light-hearted chuckle before we go into the 1-year anniversary where we can actually start grinding stuff again. So yeah, take it easy. I'm going to say bye. Fruit Guru out.